Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's Ekadashi reading. Today's Ananta Ekadashi. Happy Ekadashi to all of you. I hope those of you who are fasting have had a very blissful day so far. Today we are reading chapter 2, God, from the Basics of Bhagavad Gita, which is based on the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, the Iskcon founder. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langate yat kripatamam bande Shri Gurudena Taranam Paramananda Madhvam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, first we're going to read, Does God exist? And who is God? We will read the common atheistic arguments, which are whether God exists or not is a fundamental question facing mankind today. What was accepted commonly as a fact in the bygone ages is now being increasingly questioned. Some of the common arguments put forward by the atheists are as follows. What is the proof that he exists? If we can't see him, why believe that he exists? This is the typical frog in the well attitude. There was once a frog that was born in a well and had lived there all his life. Another frog which lived near the sea visited this frog. The frog in the well tried to estimate the size of the sea by comparing it to the well. Is your house, the sea, twice the size of my well? 10 times? 100 times? The sea is actually far too vast for any such comparison, because the first frog had never been outside his well. He tried to see everything in the world in terms of his very limited experience of the well. Similarly, atheists try to speculate on matters pertaining to God on the basis of their very insignificant experience of this world and then arrive at faulty conclusions. The idea of God was introduced to explain phenomena in the nature, but science is now able to do that, and one day science will fully explain everything. Thus, there will be no need for God. So these are some of the arguments put forward by the atheistic people. And another one is, if God exists, why there is so much suffering? Why is he so cruel that he allows his children to suffer? And some people say the idea of God has been introduced simply to ensure morality and good behavior in the society. In the present day materialistic society, such atheistic ideas have become very widespread. And as a result, much havoc has been caused to the world. Therefore, there is a great need to establish that God exists and that belief in God is actually very rational, logical and scientific. Okay. Logic for belief in existence of God. That the creation implies creator. While atheistic views are gaining in numbers, an examination of the world around us gives us a very different story. Every part of the creation is a testimony to the presence of God. Consider the following. Every garden reveals its gardener, every clock its maker, and every design its designer. Everyone will agree that a design means that a designer is responsible for it. For example, let us take the watch on our wrist. It could not have come out of thin air, but must have had a designer and an assembler behind it. Thus, we cannot deny the existence of the personality who created the watch. Similarly, the creation reveals its creator, God. The universe and everything within it is superbly organized. This indicates the existence of such a superb organizer. If we look up at the stars and planets in the sky, we will observe that their movements are so precise that even watches can be set against these movements. Day after day, year after year, how then can we deny the existence of a designer and assembler behind the universe? Every organ of our body is very intricate and more complex than a computer. If a computer cannot come about by itself, how can a body, which is a perfect working assembly of such a complex number of organs, come by chance? There must be a creator who has created all these wonderful things. Sir Isaac Newton, though a scientist, was a believer in God. Once an atheistic scientist visited him. Newton showed him a new mechanical model of the sun and all the planets. He cranked a handle and all the planets revolved around the sun like in the universe. The scientist was very impressed and congratulated Newton on his achievement. Newton said he had not built the model, but it had just appeared on its own without any human intervention one morning in his living room. When the scientist protested that this was not possible, Newton reprimanded him for believing otherwise. In the case of the real universe, he said, you refuse to believe that this tiny model has come about by chance. Yet you refuse to believe that this tiny model has that yet you so readily accept that the actual solar system with all its vastness and complexity has no creator. Is this not a highly illogical thinking? Indeed, the universe is so amazingly ordered and precise in its working, it is like an enormous clock. What is more amazing than this amazing universe is that there are people who say it has no creator. Law implies lawmaker. Atheists may explain the orderly movements of planets in terms of the laws of nature. Yes, certainly the universe is functioning according to the laws of nature or the natural laws. These laws work perfectly and without exception. But scientists can at least at their best discover that such laws exist. The main point, however, is who has made these laws and who implements them. Can the traffic signal on the road come about by itself? Isn't it common sense that someone has laid down that red means stop, green means go, and that someone, the police, is required to enforce these rules? Therefore, we can understand that there must be a super intelligent and powerful lawmaker behind the natural laws in the universe. Unseen thread in creation. In a pearl necklace, the pearls rest on a thread that ties them all together. Even though we cannot see the thread, we know that it exists simply by seeing the pearls arranged in an orderly way without being scattered. Similarly, God is the underlying support of this universe, because of whom all the planets float and move in their perfect orbits without falling down or crashing into each other. In the Bagavad-Gita, Lord Krishna declares, Mattaha paratram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. Shlok 7.7 of Bhagavad Gita, which is translated as, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls strung on a thread. God holds together the whole creation just as we would hold particles of dust in our palm. The idea of creation by chance violates laws of nature. It is a natural and empirically observed law that every system naturally moves from a state of order to disorder. We experience this in our daily lives. A great deal of effort is required to keep things in order in every sphere of our life. We have to put a lot of effort simply to keep our house neat and tidy. The universe is enormous and complex and is yet superbly ordered and harmonious. The very word cosmos means an orderly, harmonious, systematic universe. From the atom through the individual cells, organs, living entities, right up to the gigantic universe, at every level there is an incredible and stunning intricacy, beauty, and exquisite order. It is illogical to assume that such a state of order has come about and is being maintained by chance and without a background intelligence operating. This idea is against the nature's law that in a system left to itself, order gives way to disorder, and that to create or maintain order, an intelligent direction is required. We have absolutely no experience of any object or system coming about by chance. Why and how then we assume that the entire universe with all its harmony, order and structured organization came about by chance? It is important to understand that the word chance does not actually refer to a cause. It refers to a certain type of pattern which is the result of an operation or activity repeated a sufficient number of times. For example, we can toss a coin many times and note that the results correspond to a statistical pattern indicating a 50% probability that heads will turn up rather than tails. Therefore, the next time we toss a coin, we could hazard prediction that based on the earlier pattern, there is a 50% chance or likelihood that it will turn up heads. But this does not mean that chance is the cause of the coin turning up heads. Each time the coin turns up head or tails, there is a cause or a combination of causes, which we may or may not be able to compute. In other words, chance is simply our estimation made in advance of likelihood of an event happening in a certain way based on our observation on that event several times in the past. In other words, turning our attention now to our universe, we can see that it is meaningless to talk about the universe coming about by chance, as if chance were the cause of the universe. And in any case, where is the question of even talking about chance when one is not in a position to observe the creation of the universe repeated a sufficient number of times to arrive at a pattern, like for tossing of coins? Furthermore, estimations of chance have to be made before the creation of universe, not after. So the universe has a cause, and that ultimate cause is God, the supremely intelligent person. Now, the search for God is a fundamental urge. The existence of an urge indicates the existence of its fulfillment in nature, because nature is complete and perfect. For example, for the fulfillment of hunger and thirst, nature provides food and water. Similarly, the fundamental urge for God in all of us means that such a supreme being exists. Srila Prabhupada said, all are looking for God. Some know it and some don't. How true. Everyone is looking for happiness. But they don't know that real happiness lies in loving and serving the God. Everyone is looking for somebody to follow and worship, be it a cinema star, a sports star, or a famous personality. Everyone is looking for a hero. God is the perfect and complete hero. All desires can be fulfilled by worshipping Him. Now, the personal experience of God. God is not just some abstract, intangible entity simply to be argued about. He is actually to be realized by the process of love and service in the company of His devotees. This knowledge is a topmost knowledge by understanding which full realization can be attained. Lord Krishna says in the Bagavad-Gita, Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Savagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartam Avyayam. This is from chapter 9, second shloka. It's translated as, this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Bhaktya tva ananya shakya Shakya aham evam vidho Arjuna jnatum drashtam cha tatvena pravishtam cha parantapa. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, 54th verse. Translation. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Thus, the direct experience and realization of God is the most clinching proof for the existence of God. People say, "Show me God," but do they have the eyes to see the God? Are they qualified? What is the power of our eyes to see? In the dark, we cannot see even our own hands in front of our eyes. So one must try to develop spiritual vision by following an authorized spiritual process. Then one can actually be qualified. God is not obliged to answer the challenges of any foolish, arrogant atheist. Once a well-known atheist said, "If there is a God in existence, he should prove it by killing me this very instant. If I continue to live after this challenge, then he does not exist." He did not die at that instant, but he certainly did die some years later. God, of course, exists and will do eternally. Now, the wrong conceptions of God. As we have previously mentioned, many people today deny the very existence of God. Among the people who believe that God exists, there is much confusion. Some of the wrong ideas about the God are that God is light, that God is force, that God is void, that is Shunyavadi, like the the Buddhists think like that, and many other religions as well. Everyone is God. There are many gods, and God is dead. So let us try to understand what God really is. The definition of God. One may define God in many ways. Is the source of everything? Everything has a source, but God is He who is the source of everything. He is the cause of all the causes. He has no cause beyond Himself. God is not only the origin of everything, but He is also the maintainer and destroyer. God is the generator. So God is the acronym for generator for G, operator for O, and destroyer for D. God is the perfect, complete, whole, and even though everything emanates from Him, He remains the same perfect, complete, perfect whole. He does not diminish. Shri Ishopanishad declares, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This is the invocation of the Shri Ishopanishad. It's translated as, the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanates from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because He is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. Secondly, He is Supreme Controller. He controls everything fully, everywhere, and at all time. He is omniscient. That is, He knows all. He is all-knowing. Omnipotent, He is all-powerful. Omnipresent, He is all-pervading. We are all tiny imitation controllers. Supreme is the proprietor. Thirdly, everyone belongs to Him since everything comes from Him and is fully controlled by Him. We are false proprietors. Nothing actually belongs to us. Supreme enjoyer. We can only enjoy something that belongs to us. Since everything belongs to God, He is the supreme and indeed only enjoyer. He possesses all opulences. The word bhaga means opulence, and van means one who possesses. This is how the sage Parashar Muni has defined the term Bhagavan in the Vishnu Puran. Aishwarasya samagarasya viryasya yashaha shriya jnana vairagyosha chaiva shnanam Sannam Bhaga Itingana. This is from Vishnu Puran, 6th canto, 5th chapter, 47th verse, translated as, full wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, these are the 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I repeat, full wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, these are the 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An ordinary human may possess one or more of these opulences, but in significant measure. God is He who possesses these opulences unlimitedly. All the above definitions define some particular transcendental feature or quality of God. There are innumerable such definitions possible. Without satisfying these criteria, one cannot be considered God. Who is God? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why do we say this? We say this because He fulfills all the criteria mentioned above, and the Bhagavad-Gita and other Vedic scriptures bear ample testimony to this. Given below is just a small sample of vast scriptural evidence available in this regard. Krishna is the source of everything. Not a blade of grass moves without His consent. Krishna is the origin of everything. He declares, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. From Bagavad-Gita chapter 10 verse 8, translated as, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Furthermore, Brahma, the secondary creator, says in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahma Samhita text 1. Translated as, Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He is eternally blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and He is the prime cause of all causes. Krishna is the supreme controller. Everybody is helplessly controlled by material nature. All living beings come into existence, play their part, and are inexorably annihilated. But Krishna is the controller of material nature itself. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya dakshena prakriti shuyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagat vipari vartate. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 10. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings under its rules, and this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Krishna is the supreme proprietor of everything. Everything belongs to Him and is meant for His enjoyment. We have nothing of our own, yet then when we offer Krishna whatever is under our care with love and devotion, He is pleased. We can see that when a child offers to his father a present bought out through his pocket money, the father is very pleased with the child because of the love shown by him. Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita the peace formula by which everyone can be happy and peaceful if they simply accept the proprietorship of Krishna, which is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, Shlok 29. Bhoktaram yajyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim rachati. Translated as, a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. All work should be done as an offering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. since he is the supreme bestower and enjoyer of all the fruits. All sacrifices, yajnas, are meant to satisfy him only. If Krishna is pleased, everybody is pleased with our offering. Therefore, he clearly states in the Bhagavad Gita that it is he who is worshipped through all the various yajnas. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhur evacha natu mam abhijanati tatu venatas chyavanti te. From Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 24. Translated as, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices, therefore those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. And lastly, I will read a little bit about Krishna is the father of all. At the time of creation, Krishna impregnates the material nature, and the living entities take birth in various forms according to their past deeds. Therefore, he is the father of all, and we are his parts and parcels. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in the following verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 4. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yah tasam brahma mahat yonir aham bija prada pita. Translated as, it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Krishna is the supreme knower. We'll read this from tomorrow onwards. So I wish you a very happy weekend ahead, and I hope you are all having a blissful time. I shall see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarvescha kripa sindhubhyo vicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.